So you're living in Germany and you need to email your landlord, but maybe your German is still at that beginner level. Don't even worry about it. Today, we're going to make this whole process super simple. We're going to give you some really clear, effective email templates so you can handle all the most common issues with total confidence. All right, let's just dive right in.
We are going to tackle exactly 5 common problems you might run into as a tenant. And honestly, by the end of this, you are going to have the exact words you need to report a repair, ask a question, make a complaint, and even give your notice when it's time to move out. It's going to be simple, practical, and ready for you to copy and paste.
So here's the game plan. We'll start with some basics, then get right into the practical stuff for when things go wrong. After that, we'll cover how to handle questions and complaints. Then we'll walk through the big one, giving notice. And we'll wrap it all up with a super handy vocabulary recap. Let's get to it. You know, the absolute key to communicating with your landlord in German is just to be clear, polite, and straight to the point. You really don't need any complex sentences. Our whole approach here is about solving problems with simple, A1 level language that just, well, it gets the job done.
Okay, let's get into the urgent stuff first, right? Things break. It happens to everyone. And knowing how to report a problem quickly and clearly is absolutely essential. So we're going to look at 2 of the most common household headaches, a broken heating system and a shower that's decided to stop working. Just imagine this for a second. It's a chilly evening, you finally get home, and your apartment is absolutely freezing. The heating is out. This is such a classic problem, and I'm going to show you exactly how to report it without any stress at all.
Okay, so on the left, you see the German email. It says, Guten Tag. Die Heizung in meiner Wohnung funktioniert seit gestern nicht. Es ist sehr kalt. And over on the right, the simple translation, Good day, the heating in my apartment hasn't been working since yesterday, it is very cold. See? Short, polite, and they know exactly what the problem is.
Now, let's break down the most important words here. Die Heizung is the heating. Now, funktioniert nicht. This is your golden phrase for literally anything that's broken. Remember that one. Kalt means cold, of course. And jemanden schicken is the crucial request, to send someone. If you master these 4, you are all set for this problem. All right, on to the next scenario. You're trying to get ready for your day, and the shower is just not playing along. You know, maybe the water pressure's gone weird or it's not heating up. Here is the exact template you need for that situation. So let's take a look at the email. In German, it's Guten Tag, in meiner Wohnung funktioniert die Dusche nicht richtig. Können Sie bitte einen Handwerker schicken? And the English is just as straightforward. Good day, the shower in my apartment is not working properly. Could you please send a repairman? You see that? It's pretty much the same structure as the heating email. We're just swapping out a few keywords. So the vocabulary here is what really matters. Die Dusche, that's the shower. Nicht richtig is a fantastic alternative to funktioniert nicht. It just means not properly. And the handwerker, this is such an important word to know. It means the repairman or the handyman.
Okay, so let's move on. Not every email to your landlord is going to be about something broken. Sometimes you just have a simple question, or, and this can be a tough one, you might need to make a complaint. Let's cover both of those right now.
This is a super common situation, especially right after you move in. Your contract might be a little confusing, and you just want to make sure you're paying on time. And trust me, it is always better to just ask.
Here is the perfect, polite way to ask. In German, Guten Tag, ich habe eine Frage zur Miete. Soll ich die Miete am 1. oder am 3. des Monats überweisen? And the translation on the right is, Good day, I have a question about rent. Should I transfer the rent on the 1st or the 3rd of the month? It's a perfect example of a polite and direct question. No fuss. Let's just quickly break down the language. Eine Frage means a question. Easy enough. Die Miete is the rent, a word you'll be using a lot. And überweisen is the specific verb for a bank transfer, which is how basically all rent is paid in Germany. These words are key for any money talk. All right, now for a more delicate topic, noisy neighbors. This can be a really tricky situation, but contacting your landlord is often the right first step. The absolute key here is to be factual and formal, not emotional. This is a brilliant example of how to state the problem clearly. The German email says, Guten Tag, seit 2 Tagen ist es sehr laut in der Wohnung über mir. Können Sie bitte mit den Nachbarn sprechen? And translated, that just means, good day. For 2 days, it has been very noisy in the apartment above me. Could you please speak with the neighbors? See what you're doing?
You're not accusing anyone, you're just reporting the facts.
So the essential words here are der Lärm, which is the noun, the noise, and the phrase sehr laut, which means very noisy. The Nachbarn, of course, are the neighbors, and sprechen is simply to speak. You're just asking the landlord to speak with them. Simple as that. So let's just quickly compare these last two. The rent email starts with Ich habe eine Frage. I have a question. It's totally neutral. But the noise complaint, it describes a situation. Es ist sehr laut. It is very noisy. That states a problem that needs action. Notice how both are still polite, but the tone shifts from a simple question to a more formal complaint. It's a really subtle but important difference. Okay, on to the final big piece of communication you'll ever have with a landlord, telling them you're moving out. In Germany, this requires a very formal notice, which is called a Kündigung. It's not complicated, but it absolutely has to be done correctly.
Here is the standard formal template. In German, Guten Tag, hiermit kündige ich meine Wohnung zum 30. Juni. Bitte bestätigen Sie den Erhalt dieser Nachricht. The English translation is just as formal. Good day. I hereby give notice to end my rental agreement on June 30. Please confirm receipt of this message. Yeah, this is basically a legal notice, so that formal language is really necessary.
Let's break this down into 3 super simple steps. First, you state your intent with the magic words hiermit kündige ich, which means I hereby terminate. Second, you have to specify the exact date your lease will end, like zum 30. Juni. And third, you always ask for confirmation. Bitte bestätigen Sie. This makes sure you have a record that they got your notice.
Wow, we have covered a lot of ground. So now let's just put all of the most important words we learned today in one place. You can think of this as your quick reference toolkit for pretty much any landlord situation.
Here they are, the greatest hits. Die Heizung, the heating. Die Dusche, the shower. Die Miete, the rent. Der Lärm, the noise. The verb kündigen, to give notice. And of course, the all-star phrase funktioniert nicht, meaning isn't working. These are the core terms we've walked through today. Get these down and you'll be in great shape.
So there you have it. 5 powerful, simple templates that are ready to go. You are now totally empowered to communicate clearly and solve problems. So I guess the only question left is, which one of these emails do you think you'll need to use first? Hopefully none for a long time. But hey, now you're prepared.